On the fifth night of our Alaska cruise, we departed Skagway, sailing south overnight to the entrance of Glacier Bay National Park. It was a dreary morning, but we had some company in the form of a distant ferry boat. As we entered the bay, the weather was uncooperative. But we did see bits of sea ice floating by and caught our first glimpse of glacial ice. Glacier Bay is very young geologically and didn't even exist 340 years ago. For centuries, Tlingit lived around and fished salmon from lowland rivers. But by 1750, the Tlingit were evicted by rapidly advancing glacial ice. When the ice retreated, their home and rivers had sunken into the new bay. As we sailed deeper into the bay, the weather still hadn't improved. But the ice chunks were getting bigger, and the 1,000+ foot waterfalls were swollen by the rainfall. We'd picked up some national park geologists before entering the bay, and they narrated our voyage, which immensely enhanced our experience. Glacier Bay is unique for scientists because of its rapid geological changes. What normally takes many thousands of years to see happened in a few centuries, and continues to happen as climate change accelerates glacial change. We went as deep into the bay as a large boat can go, stopping just 2 miles off of Marjorie Glacier. Its face is a mile wide, and it calved twice while we were there, though I missed capturing the events on video. But the chunks of sea ice floating away testify to previous calvings. Next to Marjorie, about twice as wide and blackened by sediment, Grand Pacific Glacier is the primary remnant of the ice field that created the bay 250 years ago. Turning down another inlet, the weather cleared a bit and we got a really good look at several other glaciers. Including the Johns Hopkins Glacier, named for the Baltimore, Maryland University, and about the same width as the Grand Pacific. Heading out of Glacier Bay, we counted ourselves lucky to have seen such wonders. Parts of the bay are becoming unstable as the climate warms, and one day, sooner rather than later, the risk will be too great to allow cruise ships in. We dropped off the park geologists and continued on. Moving into the Gulf of Alaska as the weather turned again. Sailing overnight, we were optimistically greeted with clearer skies in the morning. After lunch, we moved into the Prince William Sound, which is ringed by the spectacular Chugach Mountains. the northernmost of the Pacific Coast Ranges that collectively run from Alaska to central Mexico. Dotted with islands and punctuated with fjords, Prince William Sound illustrates why Alaska has more miles of coastline than all of the other 49 U.S. states combined. By early evening, we entered College Fjord, the far northwest section of Prince William Sound. About 24 miles long and 1.5 to 2.5 miles wide, the fjord contains 10 major glaciers and dozens of smaller glaciers, one of the densest glacier concentrations in the world, and the largest collection of tidewater glaciers where the ice touches the ocean. The fjord and glaciers were named in a privately funded 1899 expedition that included renowned naturalist John Muir and a group of scientists primarily from elite eastern U.S. colleges. So they named most of the glaciers after Ivy League and other elite U.S. schools. Two of the tidewater glaciers, Yale and Harvard, are the largest in the fjord, and the expedition members took great pride in omitting Princeton. Our onboard princess naturalist handled the informative narration. Unlike Glacier Bay, the unique geography of the fjord mitigates the effects of climate change on the glaciers, so it's equally valuable for scientific study. After the borderline weather in Glacier Bay, Alaska's paid us back with spectacularly gorgeous weather in College Fjord, including a beautiful sunset. Easily the best day of our entire cruise. Reversing course, we sailed south overnight to the final port of Whittier. It was the end of our incredible Alaska cruise, but not the end of our time in Alaska. So stay tuned for the next video from Anchorage.